The Illuminati's got me branded. Landed a chip, now I'll never be stranded. The buddies watching me, I'm closed circuit candid. Pure seems to be the standard. Contaminated, state of the union addresses. FBI tried to get me to confessions. Complex lies leads to complex stresses. Pledge allegiance to a flag, I pledge allegiance with a mag. Bag all that can be bagged. Celebrate D-Day, victories of history. It's a mystery, know your enemy. Mayday conspiracy. Red rose held and smelt by the nose of the helm. Clues brought to you live through satellite feed on channel 12. The idea of democracy is justice based upon money. Self-worth is based upon credit / debit of earth dollars. Cashless society sponsored by OGP and Masonic scholars. Global insurance by State Farm. Unicare and Aetna. Bank of America. First to scam my retina. Freedom back. Freedom back. Freedom back. Freedom back.
In America, we too busy on making money. In America, everybody got their mind on money. All we care about is money, and nobody gives a damn about a democracy. That's why we gonna lose. Right place? Right place? Right place? Right place to lead you to the light.
As we move to the new world order, everything costs a quarter more. Funding for freedom, special interest supporters, complete control over the masses, separation of the classes, united fascists, a society of wicked bastards. The founding fathers never bothered, so freedom squandered. Haunted facts of the matter, criminal minded boss get fatter, trying to rule this continent. Holier than thou, white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, religious order organized to separate. But God is good, God is great. You ask how one man can legislate the federal and the state. Don't waste your time trying to translate, so you wait for layman's word.
Right place? Right place to lead you to the light.
There's a rumor of war, created crisis and it sickens me and leaves the nation scarred. Illuminati cats and the kids that kill, but what for? Every generation's got wars to war, wall to wall, to keep freedom fresh on your minds, y'all.
Yeah, our God is that green Jesus.
It will change form to a naked made in a realm beyond fantasy where life and fiction are one. What can lift the door from its jams? It's the eye opener in the magician's wand. And the magician lives in a can in the randy land that was put on the earth for reproduction. The scenery is perfect but may lose its function if we don't utilize it and begin the abduction. The scalpel is ready to incise, and to our surprise we will come across the aha feeling and apply it to lives of that point we didn't see. We'll show face, and we will do a hand wave of goodbye to old ways. I take a second look before decisions are made. Nature resolve all its nature in this arcade game. Some visions are twisted unless the focus is sharp. Don't believe what they say, there's a focus among stars. I take a second look before decisions are made. Nature resolve all its nature in this arcade game. Some visions are twisted unless the focus is sharp. Don't believe what they say, there's a focus among stars. So many primary libraries are under the dirt hurt, cause ignorance is more intriguing. It's turning us to weaklings. It's hands on the clock race, and the speed that consuming sheeple people in the maze. The whole place is a conspiracy in case you didn't know. Over and under shroud our ebbs and flows with the term paper approved by mechanical men. The new world order is not going to descend or intend to let the astro subject us to the threshold of the garden so we can step into the fresh bowl. Or I mean the brain of goodness that we experience to a certain extent. Could this imply a downfall, I ask, to walkers of this earth that the earth can't match? Expansions of the psyche is the key to all of the treasures that we don't see. They wait impatiently for the revelations or release the unreleased to experience elevation. Cause everybody holds things back, the type of things that need to see the daylight and not the crack of knowledge and understanding. To non-pinpointable relatives we must include when planning and planting of the seeds in the fertile soil that will thrive to the max as we toil and go against wicked standardizations that polluting principles on the cost of our vegetation.
targets or actually install thoughts on our brain chips. Well, to give you this idea, you must be the understudy to your wonder buddy, the tie-dye shirt wearing fluffy bunny, liberal MC. But no, the dream's over, you're clean and sober. So wake up and kiss the missile debris. To have freedom, there's an initial fee and several monthly installments. So I'm scrubbing floors for investors, funding wars for that decorative mantelpiece. Think you get a man hard, really pump axle grease and live off the diet of children's toes and fingers and mount to the back of every common man's saddle seat. Just to run the world from a Palm Pilot, our faces drip with dog drool. When I package goods to keep us calm and quiet. But I want Bob Rule, a picket sign with a catchy slogan, a lit torch, a pitchfork, and all my angst and contempt for the governing powers that be, encapsulated in the word fuck. But we're just smart for our own goods, and you're too dumb to live in the moment for a moment. I said we're just smart for our own goods, and you're too technologically advanced to have understood. We're just smart for our own goods, and you're too dumb to live in the moment for a moment. I said we're just smart for our own goods. It's after the end of the world, and we already know it. Now I found bits of pop appeal when the dry art is done by bipartisans meet and greet. Now we're ordered around to the youth culture behind a radically conservative masonry. We need you, a hedonism with a work ethic, politically aware to end the recreational complacency. I wouldn't think my beachfront would be reduced to a teacup of sand and my behavior hurt by pill taking just because I freed a reproductive gland from the steel plating. I mean, whose life realistically beats your film rating? We don't understand and are still waiting for the sky to break under a pulsating piston and for people to turn into a three-eyed machine. So don't eat the refried beans before I email you this code-breaking encryption. We're obviously in the politically aware Afrocentric activist poet semifinals, reviewing your slam poem for any typos. Talking about, I'm a living flower. When anybody pays see me $20 at a ticket counter? I'm a deteriorating monument. Do you know where the treatment plant is irrigating to your water spigots? We're just one for our own goods, and you're to live in the moment for a moment. I said we're just one for our own goods, and you're to technologically advanced to have understood. We're just one for our own goods, and you're to live in the moment for a moment. I said we're just one for our own goods. It's after the end of the world, and we already know when.
Attention to the bugs, polluting your eyeballs. Grudges is obviously fashionably trendy. Solid ground budgets, no reasons turn windy. Fighting faster, exhilarating, dastardly, and cowardly. Hannibal Barrows, even though these characters ain't cartoons. Flatter than the poster or a dollar on the platter. It matters when I say wait on the ladder, so debating. I'm returning torso, dealing with forces in the paradox community. Worshipping multiple choices in the fast lane. Exceeding every obstacle, being randomly chosen. Reading heavy articles by sanity being frozen. Who's listening? Call me back and forth, being pre-roll. I'm forming the notes to plan a trade. Hate sweater. Gothenburg was supporting, but the link sounded better. So I decided to take a plunge, barely wear a bad weather. Carbonate the dots below, igniting audio rainbows. Giggle goggles generated by shrooms are in commercials. So we seem relativity with chameleon capacities. Animalistic, the cannibalistic mind instead of the dominate to find. Rewinding revolutions necessarily colder every single time. The lack of minerals, clearly merely wearing varieties. Meanwhile, society's divided into a myriad of belief contradictions. The belief is cave, discover reconstructing action. Of rewriting from the televised zombie comedy, the life I chose. Exposing white is fighting with gravity. Energizing in the collab with the rising sun. Minimalize, dehumanize, destructive, dubitating, tangled deeply and exciting. Coming weekly, white range, flapping pages, collecting dust to extracts. It's all cages.
What would be the most horrible way to die? Do you ever wonder what would be the most horrible way to die? Do you ever wonder what would be the most horrible way to die? Do you ever wonder what would be the most horrible way to die? Do you ever wonder?
Cruising for positive bruising, choosing life in front of the skeptic fear activism, wishing that equals follow. My train rips over the tropics, so it reps. Crippled animals to get a glimpse of evolution's high. Who saw the people making a change in this? Misinterpreted reappearance, bringing clarity to the program. I keep my tongue inside of a plastic squeeze container, drinking it up with hard times, creating audience flow-ups. Living life from part perspective since my daughter came. Out of 11 known dimensions, tell me what's the penalty for ruling intended those. The visible ones are mostly left overs musically with remainders of the randomly chosen underground glitch. Who's the pioneer when it comes to fabricated dough? The listeners won't choke from the chocolates ain't got none. Enthusiasm travel life in vehicles to rapid changing closeness of humanity to the rampage, not necessarily a prophecy, but a decomposing habit from the Stone Age. I'm an extremely rare clarity, the whenever rare being, looking at freak show with binoculars while leaning over the outer limits of my sacred balcony. I welcome you to minimalize the agony size. Take over the school, get rid of the fools, deliver the possible opposite path. Reclaim the range, united, divided in energy glows. Dependent on truth and always be contemporary. Loose processes following blindly. My generosity stands to be kind.
You ever wondered what would be the most horrible way to die? You ever wondered what would be the most horrible way to die?
Then I came to America, saw Xanadu, and that's all I wanted to do. Roller skate.
I'm capable of potentate your ventricle. It was electrical, chemical stimuli. Always a double meaning in the word like Gemini. And if you tripping off the acid or mescaline, this energy move your dream quest where it's never been. Jump is all I command, is all the law. Kick and dance while I orchestrate, baby Paul. Concern yourself with your own style. Freak your harder than Satchel Wow. Raise up my brainchild, you endow. When I speak, I charge the crowd. Bass with the woofers and I'm licking lyrics now. Chopping if I want, it's just a tool. Read about it, contemplate, remove your mental block with the CD beat knock. Quit staring at the clock. Live for the moment, think positive, a greater atonement. Turn up your component to 10 if there's still paint left on it. And don't be alarmed. Remain calm, name science, dropping bombs. Name science, ring alarms. Name science, come on. Name science, come on. I use finesse, the right or the left. Test the paragraph like PH level set. Wait, words on staff. Balance with the fulcrum. Pound of weight experience is serious. I've chosen. Spit ice cold, world's frozen. My pen finger looks like Riddick size. I'm criticized for not freezing my wrists. Fucking with producers' lists. This could be a diss. I'm not scared of dissing. Sample my style, I start switching my style. Name science smoothing out over melodic keys, reminiscent of the day. My time is rhyme line where diamond fine tape reels rewind. Just a little sister digital crisp.
The first wanna step out of line and tell you how it is. That there ain't no other MCs doper than this. Don't ask me about flotations, just know that I'm associated the same with gangsters and drug dealers. That's why you hear the heavy tongue, drum, dump, equalizer pump. Voltage from the voltage, classic. I haven't mastered it, but I perfected it. These words belong with the sentence, that's chemistry. I walk the land without a microphone and it's the same results. A few MCs impress me, but those are ones that nod their head to the beat. The verbiage I spit come from a split. Red eye train smuggled in with the rest of the things that we won't speak of from the heart. So it must be an art to style like a giant and rock every planet, and rock every planet.
And don't be alarmed. Remain calm, name science, drop bombs. Name science, ring alarms. Name science, come on. Name science, come on, come on.
Robert L. Ripley's Believe It or Not cartoon panel was the staple of American newspapers in the first half of the 20th century. The cartoon featured
Believe It or Not, products of appraisal submitted for your approval. The incredible shrunken head collection of the Indians of Ecuador, reduced to fist size. New, the MC world paralyzed in hip-hop battle as the appearance of Jesus suddenly moved the crowd. This just in now. The Sasquatch has just been kicked down a notch in the most sought after category by an MC who isn't in it for the money. Evidently none can be found. Travel down to strange and exotic lands where tribal people dance ecstatic in religious trances 1,000 miles away from mainstream music, and you won't believe it. Therefore, you'll have to see it for yourselves. An artist who's not a preacher peddling music for profit, and a man approached by a black person who don't want his wallet, believe it or not. Human flight without the use of mechanical instruments is possible. You must focus on the neutral spaces between the atoms to flow. The alleviation of all suffering is plausible if we do not desire more of what we do not have. Believe it or not. Submitted for your approval. Take one woman. Even without television, she sauntered gainfully across the window screens of the black city. Ass is round, walking down the streets of the African town. Cleavage drawn, taking trips through South Central with red lips painted on in the black city. Invisible thong, sitting in the hair and nail salon. Black men lusting after her through the clear window, getting her light brown hair done. A young black woman waits on her appointment, consulting her master's thesis. Believe it or not, human flight without the use of mechanical instruments is possible. You must focus on the neutral spaces between the atoms to flow. The alleviation of all suffering is plausible if we do not desire more of what we do not have. Believe it or not. There exists a remote crew of MCs who lives in the world but not of it. They move in 10 directions, simultaneously transforming base metals into gold. They hold beauty is equal to ugliness. They transfuse matter with spirit and combine opposites, making use of negative space. They invite no comparison. They create